Okay, so today I thought it would be fun to take a look back at the SmackDown era under Commissioner Shane McMahon and General Manager Daniel Bryan. I have fond memories of this period in WWE. It felt like things were really changing, and I had a lot of hope for the product going forward with the talent they had. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon welcome us to a new era of SmackDown Live. Bryan says this show is not about us, it's about the amazing superstars and giving them the opportunities they deserve. Shane says more importantly, it's all about you, as he points to the camera and the crowd. The show's intro then plays. CFO's Take a Chance is the theme song for the show. I actually like this SmackDown theme. Not the best by a long shot, but decent. It brings back some good memories. When we come back to the arena, Bryan and McMahon are in the ring with the entire SmackDown roster on the apron. Shane tells us that SummerSlam is right around the corner, and SmackDown being the home to the one and only WWE Champion Dean Ambrose, we need to find him a challenger. Dean's music then hits, and the Lunatic Fringe makes his way to the squared circle. Ambrose says after defending the title at Battleground, he's ready for a new challenge. Looking around this ring now, I know everybody wants what I've got, so who's going to be first and step up? Daniel Bryan then announces that tonight we are going to have a 6-pack challenge to determine the number one contender. Bryan and Shane then reel off 5 competitors for the match. John Cena, Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin and AJ Styles. Bryan then says that the 6th person will be determined by giving the rest of the roster a shot in a Battle Royal match. Battle Royal time. We've got all sorts in this match. The Ascension, the Hype Bros, Kane, Kalisto, Apollo Crews and more. Apollo and Zack Ryder eliminate Alberto Del Rio, whilst Kane chucks both Tyler Breeze and Fandango over the top rope. And we're down to our final 4, Kalisto, Kane, Zack Ryder and Apollo Crews. The crowd are firmly behind Ryder. Woo woo woo, you know it. Ryder, Crews and Kalisto all take Kane out, then battle among themselves for the next 5 minutes. Kane eventually sits up and absolutely launches Kalisto over the top rope. Later, Ryder delivers a broski boot to the Big Red Machine. Ryder then goes for a Rough Rider, but Kane grabs him by the throat and chucks him over the top rope. Boo. Kane then goes to chokeslam Apollo, but he backflips out of it and low bridges the rope when Kane runs at him, eliminating the Big Red Machine. Apollo is the winner and our 6th competitor in our main event. Renee Young then gets a quick word with Apollo after the match. He says he's not going to start celebrating until he wins the main event later and goes on to SummerSlam to face for the WWE title. Next match, Steampunk Becky Lynch is taking on Natalya. Crazy opinion perhaps, but I actually prefer Becky with the steampunk gimmick more so than the man gimmick. Maybe I've just seen too much of the latter gimmick and it's grown old now. Steampunk Bex just feels a bit more genuine to me. There's just such a charm to this version of Becky. This was a solid match. Both of these women know their way around a ring. It's a fairly even contest throughout most of the bout. Natalya goes to lock in the sharpshooter, but Bex manages to counter her into a disarm her to make Natty tap out. Renee Young says after losing to Natalya at Battleground this past Sunday, this must feel like redemption tonight. Becky grabs the mic and says, "Just call me Becky Balboa, baby." Alexa Bliss's music hits and she introduces herself to the crowd after being called up in the draft from NXT. Alexa says that Becky may have been the first woman drafted to SmackDown Live, but you are looking at the personification of what the new era looks like. She's amazing. It's Naomi who joins the fray and basically tells Alexa to shut up in more words. The Princess of Staten Island, Carmella, then introduces herself to the SmackDown crowd. And lastly, we're introduced by a narrator with a deep movie trailer-like voice to All Read Everything, Eva Marie. She's the only one who doesn't get on the mic and speak. Instead, she lets her tits do the talking. If I remember rightly, she was not only terrible in the ring, but terrible on the mic as well. All the other women on the roster could hold their own in the ring and on the mic for that matter. Marie says bonsoir and introduces, according to her, the sexiest man alive, your Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. Whenever I see Miz and Maurice together, I can't help but think of that time he got bollocked by her on that Up Up Down Down live stream.
The whole time. You're screaming too loud. I can't concentrate. Just respect that. Honestly, when I asked you guys to take care of everything, I wasn't expecting you to like...
The Miz does his usual spiel and welcomes us to Miz TV, now exclusively on SmackDown Live. Miz introduces his guest for the show. The guy is a former world champion and has the most beautiful wife in the world. Miz then introduces himself. I'm getting flashbacks to the last ever Abraham Washington show. The Miz then proceeds to interview himself. He then asks Maurice what it's like being married to The Miz. She says her reality is better than anyone else's dreams. Just as these two are about to smooch, Randy Orton's music hits. Miz asks why is Randy Orton out here tonight on Miz TV when he has a match at SummerSlam with the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. Orton says that he knows he's going to Suplex City and it's going to be a long and bumpy road, but it only takes one RKO to send Brock Lesnar straight to Viperville. Miz says it's a shame that you accepted a match with Brock Lesnar because after being out of action for 9 months, your first match back could be your last. Randy says SummerSlam won't be his last match. Also, SummerSlam doesn't have to be his first match back. He was thinking after his long hiatus, his first match back could be tonight against the current Intercontinental Champion. Miz tries to weasel his way out of the match, so Randy asks if he's scared of getting his ass kicked in front of his wife. Randy is confused as to which one of them is pitching and catching in the relationship. This triggers Maurice and she accepts the challenge on her husband's behalf. The Miz is bricking it. Miz works on the recently repaired shoulder of the Viper throughout the match. Miz chucks Randy shoulder first into the steel steps and then into the barricade. He then sends him back into the ring. Just when Randy looks injured and beaten down, Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere when Miz slides back into the ring. He then decides against pinning and stalks his prey, hitting another RKO and finally picking up the win. Next we get a short promo package from the former NXT Tag Team Champions American Alpha, who were drafted to SmackDown and will debut next week. Just wanted to take this moment to say what a team these two were. I absolutely loved American Alpha. I don't remember them doing all that much in this era of SmackDown though, but a quick Wikipedia search informed me that they actually held the SmackDown Tag Team titles for 84 days. I can't remember this title reign at all, and I would have guessed they never won main roster titles. A jobber is in the ring ready for action when Heath Slater, who's not signed to the brand, gets in the ring and clocks him one in the jaw. He gets on the mic and says that he's been thinking, and there's got to be a mistake. How can Heath Slater not get drafted to Raw or SmackDown? He says Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac should change that 6-pack challenge to a magnificent 7-pack challenge and include him in it. He starts a sign Heath Slater chant, which the crowd is firmly behind. Shane O'Mac comes out and says if you're looking for a job, there are better ways of going about it, like sending in a resume. Slater says Shane should go and buy the WWE Network and type his name in. There's his resume. As Heath is cutting this passionate promo about his past accomplishments, Rhino enters the ring behind him. Shane says, you know what, I am looking at the hottest free agent. Slater then turns around and gets gored by Rhino. I remember this whole Heath Slater trying to get signed gimmick being gold at the time and enjoying watching it unfold on the weekly shows. Just seeing this one promo back, it's not hard to see why. Slater was funny and captivating on the mic. Definitely an underrated talent. Main event time, Bray Wyatt, Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, AJ Styles and John Cena all make their way to the ring. It feels weird seeing Cena in a main event on SmackDown. This feels like a lifetime ago now. This was a super exciting, fast-paced main event. The perfect match to usher in a new era of SmackDown. I enjoyed seeing AJ and Bray Wyatt form a temporary alliance for Bray just to beat him up. Also, I appreciate how much of the match was given to Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews to get themselves over with the fans. A nice move by the veteran wrestlers in this match to let the two young guys have some TV time. Crews hits an epic powerbomb on Corbin and it looks like he's got the win, but just as the ref is about to count 3, Bray Wyatt pulls the official out of the ring. Cena hits an AA on Dolph Ziggler and then shortly after AJ Styles. He goes for the cover but only gets a 2 count. Cena continues on a mad one, hitting a hat-trick of AAs on Apollo Crews, Bray Wyatt and Baron Corbin, before AJ hits him with a phenomenal forearm out of nowhere. Ziggler then hits AJ with a super kick to win the match and become the #1 contender for the WWE title. Dean Ambrose then comes out to confront his SummerSlam opponent. The show ends with Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac joining Ziggler and Ambrose in the ring. I remember being happy that Ziggler won this match at the time and was excited to see him get a shot at the title. This was a thoroughly enjoyable episode of SmackDown and it was a pleasure to revisit it. Let me know your thoughts on the Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon era in the comments below. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next one.